Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel. Friday, December the 20th. 5 sleeps until Santa, 5 sleeps until Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to you and yours with the big blue mug of coffee this morning. I might change the mug as we get closer to Christmas Day. Very, very Christmas appropriate. A new one coming up in a couple of days. Now, the big story in Canada today is a cabinet shuffle, I guess. That's happening today. Yeah. Not going to talk about that. I don't know whether I'll bring it up at all unless something very interesting happens, but I don't think anything of note is going to happen today. Everybody else will be reporting on this. I think the big story will be the people that turn the jobs down, because a lot of Liberals know that the ship is going down. And if I'm not the first person to say it, you're going to hear it 100 times today. This is shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic. It's all it is. That's all that's happening today. The only thing we don't know is that as the government announces the new cabinet positions, whether they'll play Nearer My God to Thee as the background music, which apparently was the music that the band was playing on the deck of the Titanic as it went into the ocean just off the coast of Newfoundland. So we'll have to find out what happens, but I'm not going to talk about that today. I want to talk about a video I saw yesterday. It's all over the internet. Seen it on CTV, CBC, but I'm going to use Rebel News because they're the good guys. And it's Pierre Poilievre talking yesterday. Got a question from somebody from CBC. Poilievre is very impressive. I don't think we've seen anyone quite like him as a conservative leader or any leader here in Canada. And when I watched him yesterday, as I did over the years, over the last year or so, even including the Apple video, which is notorious and one of the best videos ever, I thought yesterday when I saw this that he was rather Reaganesque. And I'm kind of a collector of quotes. I like quotes. Great things said by great people in the past. And I've saved a bunch of them from Ronald Reagan. So what I'm going to do, show you the video, and then I'm going to do a comparison to Ronald Reagan and some of the things he said. High praise for Pierre Poilievre. So let's watch that video right now.
The government is coming out with a $1.3 billion plan to address border security. Do you think that's enough to stop Trump's tariffs? And if it was up to you, how much specifically would you spend on border security? What number would you put on it?
Well, you ask a classically CBC question, which is how much money can you spend on a problem? Well, that's the wrong question. That's exactly the question Trudeau has been asking for 9 years. It's the reason he's doubled our debt while making everything worse. You know, for example, he spent $80 billion on housing affordability. Well, how'd that work? He doubled housing costs. He spent $60 million on his gun confiscation. 0 guns. He spent millions on a school food program that hasn't served a single solitary meal. So we should not judge a program based on how expensive we can make it. We should judge it by what it can do. How many helicopters? How many drones? How many boots on the ground? That's the question I will be asking when I'm Prime Minister. And how do we deliver it for the lowest possible price to taxpayers? Wouldn't it be nice if we had a Prime Minister who said, we secured the borders, we put more boots on the ground, we stopped tons and tons of fentanyl from traveling back and forth, we arrested the terrorists, we shut down the organized crime, we reduced gun crime, and by the way, we did it with less tax dollars. That's how our mentality has to change. We have to stop judging politicians by how expensive they can make things and start judging them by the results they get. You went into a restaurant and had a terrible experience. The food was awful. You got food poisoning. The service was bad. You wouldn't walk out and say, but it was great because it cost me $1,000. And because it's the most expensive restaurant around, it must be the best. No, we judge the meal by the food on the plate and the service that delivered it. That's how I'm going to run a common sense conservative government. Next question.
Okay, so the first one is the government that is best governs least. And I think this is one of my favorite quotes because people ask me why I'm a conservative and what I want as a conservative. And very often I say, I want to be left alone. I don't think there's anything the government can do for me that I can't do better. There's not many things I think the government should do at all, other than maybe security, roads. I can't do that kind of thing. Provide me with some documents that I might need, but I need the government out of my life. And we've got taxation, we've got regulation, we've got bureaucracy. Canada's government under Trudeau has grown 40%. Are things getting better? No, you just spend a lot more money on a lot more people to do a lot less things, and a lot of the things they do, they aren't doing very well. It's kind of subpar. The logical thing is to be efficient and live within our means. The left seems to think big government can do everything. I don't believe that at all. The government that is best governs least. That's why we need our own DOGE, Department of Governmental Efficiency in Canada. I did a video a couple of weeks ago on that, suggesting that maybe Kevin O'Leary, sort of like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in the States, Kevin O'Leary should maybe head up Canada's Department of Governmental Efficiency. The more the plans fail, the more the planners plan. I absolutely love that Reagan quote. Governments who continually throw money at a problem thinking it will fix things. Governments who continually throw money at a problem thinking it will fix things. Government who continually throw money at a problem thinking it will fix things. You get the idea, okay? So what's the definition of insanity? There's another great quote for you. How about the indigenous problem? We continually throw money at that, not getting any better. How about gun confiscation or gun registration? Government continues to do things about that. I remember when Alan Rock rolled out years ago when they had a gun registration plan promising a $5 million program. I think they ran it up to $2 billion. How about so-called climate change? Continually throw money at that? It's not getting any better, but they want more of your money and they expect you to give it to them because they think they're solving a problem. How about housing affordability? How about the availability of housing? How about Ukraine? Billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, more money, more money, more money solves nothing. There's too much government in the way to actually fix the things, and throwing money at it ain't fixing it either, just like Pierre Poilievre said. The problem is not that people are taxed too little. The problem is that government spends too much. Well, hallelujah. That's self-explanatory, particularly if you're Canadian and you lived through what happened on Monday with that disastrous fall economic update. We're $1.23 billion in debt, and we had a $62 billion deficit last year. And apparently, don't know if you know this, the Liberals are planning for a $48 billion deficit this year. Unfreaking believable. What's more unbelievable is that I look in the Calgary Sun yesterday and I see this picture of Dominic LeBlanc and this headline: Canada has fiscal room to withstand tariff war, new finance minister says. Well, we don't have any fiscal room at all. We're $1.23 trillion in debt, and we've got a $62 billion deficit. And we are not going to win a tariff war with the biggest economy in the world. It ain't going to happen, folks. So this guy's an absolute lunatic. And what Poilievre was talking about was border security. That's what we need to do to fix things on the border so we don't have to get into a tariff war. That's all we have to do. But the government is not doing its job. Now, let me leave you with one more Reagan quote. Government does not solve problems, it subsidizes them. And I think with Pierre Poilievre speaking the way you saw in that video, I think we're on the right track when the next government comes in late 2025. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.